In this session, we are going to go over the dashboards. We will start by going over the basics of navigating through the dashboards. We will go over an overview of some of the dashboard visualizations. These include charts, tables, and maps. And then we will also go over interacting with dashboard items. So reviewing the interactive portions of data on these visualizations, as well as expanding and resizing items for review. So I'm logging into the training environment once again. This time I'm logging in as an analysis user. We're going to go over the dashboards in this particular session. Whenever you're demonstrating the dashboards or any of the data visualizer, pivot table, or GIS applications, make sure to log in as this analysis user, either for demonstration purposes or for your own training purposes. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And when I sign in, I see that I have a couple additional dashboards available to me up top. I still have the training resources dashboard that was available when I logged in as the IP user. Now I have the additional dashboards of overview, testing, care, and VMMC. In order to change between the dashboards, I simply hover over them and left click. Now you can see on this dashboard I have a couple different charts, tables, maps, and then I have some users located on the bottom. So let's go through these in a little bit of detail, just to describe the different outputs that DATIM can create. So this first chart I have has several indicators mapped as my series on this particular chart. I have my districts as my x-axis, and then I have the data values as my y-axis. The chart is interactive in nature, and you can see when I hover over one of the bars, I will see the data value as well as the district that the data value belongs to. We can see from this chart that Bird District has the highest values for these particular indicators in this country. If I scroll down a little bit, I see another chart, Demoland HIV positivity percentage by funding agency. You can see we've actually used the funding agencies to output this particular data. These data values are actually an indicator value that have taken the HTC positive tests and divided them by the total number of HTC tests received and multiplied them by a factor of 100%. These data values are not entered within DATIM, but are taken from the values that are entered through the data entry process and calculated through the system itself. We can also have tables on our dashboard, and you'll see that the tables are interactive in nature. I can use these up or down arrows to sort the table values. I can also make pie charts, and you'll see here that USAID makes up the majority of new on treatment within Demoland. This chart is also interactive, and when I scroll over the different slices of my pie, I can see the data value along with the funding agency. We can also make maps, and if I hover over this multicolored box, I will see the map legend. You'll see that HTC positive results is overlaid over the total HTC received results. And we can see what that looks like on our map. I have another table underneath these two visualizations. In this particular table, I have a couple different options added to the table. For starters, I have the hierarchy listed in my organization unit column, which lists the region and the district before the site name. I've also expanded this table to take up more space on my dashboard. I've done that through selecting the resize option that's available at the top. We can see that there's three sizes in which we can resize items on the dashboard. Underneath I have a list of users, and what this list of users allows me to do is grab contact details very quickly. So if I click on one of these usernames, it will take me to their profile, where I can then access their email or their phone number details. So we can keep a list of users that we're frequently in contact with in order to grab their contact details whenever we need to. Alright, so let's take a look at the testing dashboard just to see a couple of the other outputs that DATIM is capable of creating. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on the testing dashboard. That's going to load the dashboard for me. Now we can see that it has a couple different charts available to view. And the reason why I wanted to show this is, for starters, we have the results, but they're now separated by quarter rather than financial year. So our bottom x-axis is actually our quarters in this particular case. We've also separated our data by a new disaggregate, male and female. So these are the HTC results received by sex and by quarter. And you can see once again it's interactive. I can scroll down and see the data value. I can also see the period that it's been prescribed to. And then you'll see it's just split depending on the legend colors that are given up top. If I scroll down again, I'll see the Demoland HTC received results by district. What's happened in this particular case, the results have been sorted from lowest to highest. So you can also have these sort options in the charts when you make them. I can also separate things by age group. So in this particular case, we have the HTC results separated by age group. And you can see what that looks like when you scroll over the different slices of the pie. Once again, we have male and female in another pie chart. We also have negative and positive, Demoland HTC results, negative and positive by district. So you can compare those two on the same chart. Here we have a different kind of high-level chart. It looks almost like a speedometer, just to give us a general overview of the situation in the country. You can also see we can create stacked charts. So I have male and female on this particular chart for HTC received results, and they're just created in this kind of stacked chart for me to review. I have another map. Alright, so at the bottom underneath this map I have another chart, and what this has is the HTC positive results received by all of the sites in Demoland. And we can see what that looks like a little bit. It's a little bit difficult to read on the dashboard itself. There's a couple options for actually expanding this graph to have a better look at it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on Explore. What this will do, it will take me to the data visualizer and open the actual chart in the application itself. Now you can see when I open that up, it gets quite a bit bigger. And I can make it so it's full screen. And you can see what that looks like. It's a lot easier to read. So dashboard items can also act as a shortcut to particular visualizations, tables, or maps, depending on what you've created on the dashboard itself. In the top corner, we see just a couple additional options that are also available to our dashboard items. We can remove, get as image, and share interpretation. If we click on remove, it will remove the dashboard item from this particular dashboard. We have to make sure that we have edit rights in order to remove the item. If we click on get as image, it will bring up the dashboard item as a visualization for me to review. I can download this as a PNG file by right-clicking and saving the image as, or alternatively clicking on the download link in the corner. I can also share an interpretation of this particular chart or visualization. I've already done this, and if I go to interpretations, I will see how it appears. And other people can of course comment on that particular dashboard visualization. So now we've gone through most of the basics of the dashboards. We discussed navigating the dashboards by selecting an option up top and simply clicking on it. We also discussed the interactivity of the charts by simply hovering over chart items. And we showed you the different types of items that could be added to the dashboard, including the different visualizations from charts, tables, and maps. We've gone through some basics of the dashboards, as well as some of the outputs that DATIM can create using its inbuilt applications. We're now going to get into the data visualizer and talk about how we can actually create some of these graphs within DATIM.